right.
Woohoo!
I think we got this figured out.
We're getting better with the tech every day.
Look at that. All right, technical difficulties, and we are back live. All right, sorry about that. If anybody watched our first minute and a half of me acting like a buffoon and not knowing what I was doing here, we got her figured out. We are live. Let me post. I got to go back and post the comments here. Let's go. Well, that's not the Discord anymore.
I've got the link for that if we need to post it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it real quick here and post it in the chat for both YouTube and Instagram. If you want to start out talking about soccer cards while I get the link for our Discord in the chat.
Okay. I'm going to screen share it here. I made a little something last night while I was bored from my days as working as a college teacher. I had to do PowerPoint a lot. So I thought, go with what you know. So, is that sharing? It's not, is it? Well, heck.
You gotta click add to stage.
So,
there you go.
Oh, okay. So it is now. Now I wanted to. Oops. Where are you? Okay, is it full screen now without the notes on the side?
I was in the Discord. Let me go back. Yeah, it's full without what on the side?
I had there's a little boxes on the left that have my notes and stuff, but I didn't want.
Oh yeah, there's no notes, just a picture of Spain.
Okay, right on. So we had Argentina last show 2 weeks ago. They are sort of ranked number 1 in the world because they won the last World Cup, but technically they're ranked 3rd right now, with Spain being ranked number 1. I was doing some research over the past week on the team, and I heard this British football commentator saying that of the soccer teams in the world, most teams play football, but Spain thinks football. And he kind of made some of the other guys on the show mad. And he was claiming that Spain is 3 steps ahead of everybody in the world with their technique, and that they grow together as a team, which you'll notice in a minute that a lot of these stars were rookies of the same year. They all kind of grew up together, with Lamine Yamal on the left here being the youngest one and the most valuable, the most important one. So, I've heard people say that Lamine Yamal is the best buy for soccer if you're prepping on the World Cup. They're probably right. He is 18 years old though, and I've seen where he could get himself in trouble. I saw some little Instagram clips of stuff he was doing, so he's at that age where he could get himself in trouble or hurt or whatever. But he's looking like the most promising young soccer player in the world. They had the Ballon d'Or. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but the award for the greatest soccer player in the world every year. And he finished in 2nd place this year as an 18-year-old. These 3 cards here are some of the popular ones that people are flipping. I've been dealing with, I have several copies of these at PSA. Some of them that I've gotten back. I've probably put more money into Yamal than any athlete at all this past 6 months. The thing that's confusing is, on this the Donruss FIFA Optic Hollows, they're both out of the same exact set. I think that might be confusing to some people, but one card on the left, he's got the Spanish uniform on, and then the middle one, he's got the Barcelona, which is the club team that he plays for. And they have a similar gem rate. The Spanish one, he's got 39.5%. And then the Barcelona one, 40.7%. And then the just the regular Topps Chrome, I've got 12 of these at PSA right now, has a 47.6 gem rate. There's a lot of variations on this card that some of them are going up in the multiple $1,000s. There's a one called a Ruby that I bought 10 of, that I've got all 10 of them at PSA right now, which is just kind of a one or two step up of a fancier, more limited version of that card. I want to give Dr. Crack some props here. About a year ago, it might have been not quite a year ago, you were talking about this EA Sports Mega Cracks card. I bought a 5-pack and got them from France, and I was all bummed out that I got 7s and 8s and an 8.5 on all my grading. I sold them way too soon because this card has shot to the moon over the past few months. I think this one is going to be like the rookie, the base rookie card that people want the most. A PSA 10 sold recently for $9,000. When I received word about 3 or 4 months ago about this card shooting to the moon, I had an 8.5, and I put it on eBay for $400 and it sold instantly. So I don't know if you still have some of these, Chad, but boy, that's like one of the best cards to have right now for Lamine Yamal. They don't grade well. I think that they're very low gem rate, but this is one that people want a lot.
Yeah, spoiler alert, in my plays at the end here, that card is in my plays for this show. I have 2 Lamine Yamal cards that are going to be in the soccer plays I recommend. This Mega Cracks is one of them.
Nice.
The other is not one of your slides. It wasn't on your 3 previous, and it isn't
okay.
Isn't on here either. So
you're going to send me off to go buy some more Lamine Yamal. I can already see it coming.
Yeah.
This was an auto that sold a couple weeks ago on eBay for $9,600. It's the Topps Chrome Black Laser auto. This one broke the record. This was a couple months ago. This was the Golden 1-of-1 Superfractor. That's the highest selling Lamine Yamal as of now, $396,500 on a golden auction. And then, we have a few other players. I feel like all these guys could make you some money if you get good prices on these. I was doing research the past few days, and most of these are buy it nows, and they look too expensive for all of them. But if you
spoiler alert, there is a Pedri on my list of plays as well. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, these guys are all like superheroes in Spain. And best team of the world. I mean, I think if you got a good price on some of these guys, probably your best bet is to buy them in an auction. And then, we can talk later about the strategy for selling the stuff. I kind of feel like you'd want to have them listed a couple weeks before the play actually starts. And then, if they happen to start scoring a bunch of goals or something, then maybe you run an auction. I don't know, but we could talk about that later in a few months. But that is really all that I had for my Spain thing. So
right. That's great.
Oh, cool.
I like the fact that I've got 2 players that you listed in today's show on the plays that
nice.
I tried to what I did for the plays, for those that want nothing but the plays. There's going to be Mostly soccer, a few basketball plays. We're going to talk maybe a football player or something like that, but we'll get to those at the end. For those that haven't heard, all the whispers, they are true. We don't have the dollar amount yet. We don't have the exact date set yet, but PSA is raising their fees on grading cards. It's no surprise because they are grading 1.5 to 1.7 million cards every month. They are at full capacity, and as many cards as that. My understanding is they're grading 1.5 to 1.7, but they're intaking close to 2 million cards a month. So the reason why things are not moving as fast as they would like is because they're getting more cards than they can grade in a month in a monthly submission. So it only makes sense that the only way that they can slow that down is to raise prices, supply and demand. They are working feverishly, I understand, to get the Florida office up and open. They booted SGC out of their grading facility and down the hall into a little tiny. They're trying to make SGC I believe they call it a boutique type grading, where it's mostly vintage, and that'll be their specialty. And so they're taking over the SGC offices, the grading facilities. They're filling it up with PSA, and they're going to have a third office of grading. They'll have the New Jersey, they'll have California, and then they're going to have a Florida office. In addition, they reopened up submissions, their office in Canada, and they're going strong in Japan. And they're working on one in London, I believe. So PSA continues to grow and expand. But in the meantime, my understanding is that they will probably announce it, I would guess, the end of this week or this weekend. And my best guess is that October 1st, the prices are going to change. So if you've got cards that you want to get in at the 1999 submissions, I would do them in the next day or two.
I heard that it's supposed to be starting Friday. It's a $2 extra charge on the bulk order per card.
Yeah, so they sent out, the way that this leaked out, PSA hasn't said anything about it at all to anybody. They haven't tweeted it. They haven't done anything, but they did send out an email or a letter to the bulk submitters. And that's how this leaked, is the bulk submitters, of course, then tweeted it out, and now it's the hottest rumor on the planet. But I have not, if you've heard Friday, I have not heard any dates on it. I did hear that it was not the same dollar amount across the board, but that bulk was going from $19.99 to $21.99. So it's a $2 per cards upgrade on bulk. But that they said it wasn't $2 all the way across the board. So we'll wait and see what PSA says or does. I'm trying to get a submission, my Wednesday submission. I'm trying to put one together today, so I can get that out yet this afternoon.
Another thing you can do. I had to interrupt. Sorry for interrupting you. If like I've got some bulk plays, like some Tops Now plays of cards that are coming in the next month. And I went ahead and made orders for all those, and it says must ship by November 8th, I think. So you can still lock in that cheaper price, but I think you have until Thursday night to do it. So you submit the order, you put in all the order, and then you've got like a month. And
yeah, if you know what cards you can't change the cards in the order once you lock the order in.
Right.
Yes, if you knew that you had cards for sure coming, you could do that at the cheaper price. But if you don't know what cards they are, you can't change the cards and just lock something in.
If I get like the special numbered version, on the Bowman U Now card, it's going to throw off the whole order,
Yeah.
So it's kind of a gamble, but I haven't been that lucky lately, so we'll see.
Hey, Mark, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. We are talking mostly soccer today. There'll be a few plays of other sports as well, but we're talking soccer today. So so we just talked about the PSA price increase. I will say, doing my plays for today, it was interesting because I've had a couple of people ask me about whether or not I could do any Bowman U football plays, because college season is upon us, and what I found was the players that I'm most interested in attaining for the end of the season or for the draft don't have cards yet. Kind of surprising. The ones that don't have very good plays available. I do have a play that you can make for a player that's currently playing. So there will be one college football play to make. But there's not. So I've been asked by several people, how do I come up with my plays? And the way that I do it is, when I create my plays, I want to make sure that the chances of breaking even or making money is 80% or higher. I don't like recommending anything lower than 80%, just simply because, that's 4 out of 5, 1 out of 5, you're going to lose every now and then. So I try to get the floor where the 9s are break even or you make a little bit of money, and then the 10s have the good upside. The other thing that I look for is on the 10s, and I notice this with a lot of Bowman U football, is I won't suggest a play, or I don't like suggesting plays, where if you buy raw and you grade it and you get a PSA 10, that 10 is only a 2x multiplier. So you buy a card for 50, you got 25 in grading, so you got $75 in the card, and the PSA 10 is only 150. I like you to make at least 3x your money. So if you're going to get a 10, because you're going to get some 8s and 9s, you need the 10s to be high enough that you're gonna if you can get a 50% gem rate, you're gonna make money if your 10s are 3x raw, not 2x raw, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the way that I set up my plays. So are we ready to get into some plays, or do you have anything else you want to cover?
I have seen a potential checklist of the quarterbacks that are supposed to be in the Bowman U now, the next set that comes out in, I think, November or December.
Yeah.
And a lot of your big guys that are missing, the majority of them are in there. I bought 40 of that John Mateer, Oklahoma quarterback, who was the Heisman favorite until Saturday when he busted his hand. I forget who they were playing, Auburn, I think. And he had to have surgery. So now he's supposed to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So kind of bums me out there. I'm like, what do I do with these 40 cards? I don't know. He should be back healthy. But, the Bryce Underwood, the Lenora Sellers, the Sawyer Robertson, a lot of those guys that have been great over the past few weeks are all going to be in that set. It ought to be a really good set.
The number one player that I'm most interested in buying for the football season is Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have anything but Leaf cards out right now that I could find. I couldn't even find any crappy Panini NIL cards of him.
He wasn't this week's Bowman U now, was he?
He might have been.
Yeah.
I was just looking on eBay for sales, I didn't look at Bowman to see what was up there. Mark's got some girls basketball Bowman U coming back from grading. Yeah, market is a little soft. Yes, I would definitely get them listed right at the beginning of the season, unless Mark, the exception to that would be if you had a player that you felt was going to be a top 2 or 3 draft choice. Then you could wait till the draft to get rid of them, and they'll gradually grow till the draft comes. But this year's draft is a little bit soft. You don't have that super mega star like you've had the last couple of years. But maybe one is going to, the interesting thing is who's going to emerge this year.
There's supposed to be a Spanish girl that's not playing in college basketball this year that's supposed to be better than everybody. I can't remember her name, but I heard somebody talking, and they were saying, they were talking about Dominique Malonga finally getting hot in the WNBA. She schooled Asia Wilson in one game and she was stuffing her and scoring on her. And they said there's some girl from Spain, I'll figure it out, but is better than her. So it could be an international one, that comes in, pulls a Luka or something.
Sure. All right, let's get to some plays here. That's what everybody wants to make some money, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did post the link. The Fernando Mendoza is in this week's Bowman U deal. I think it expires in 24 hours. I bought a 20 pack.
You posted that in the private chat.
Oh, I don't know how to get into the regular.
So go up to where it says comments.
Okay.
Click on comments, and then you can post it there.
Okay, right on.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to get started here with some plays. So the first play we're going to talk about is, and for the record, guys, these are. I did a lot of. So when I do my research, I look at several different factors: availability, return on investment, whether or not they're good plays. But I'm not afraid to go with older cards, and especially with soccer cards, because that market is relatively untapped in comparison to the other ones. So a lot of these plays today are going to be older, almost 20-year-old cards. But when I look at the gem rates of the few cards that are getting graded, the gem rates are actually still pretty good as of recently. So don't be afraid of the year of the cards. So the first card that I'm going to be talking about here is the 2006 Panini World Cup Cristiano Ronaldo. He made that move to go over to play in the Arab League or the Egypt League, somewhere in Saudi Arabia, I guess. His cards really took a dip, but now with the resurgence lately, unless you're under a rock, all of the GOATs and the greats of all the sports, their cards are skyrocketing. Ronaldo is no different. He's one of the greatest soccer players of all time, and most of his cards are really climbing. This is a card that is both affordable and meets all the criteria that I'm looking for to be a recommendation. So the raw card most recently sold for $70. It was recently, within the last 30 days, 4 of them have sold, so it's about one a week. The 30-day average is 106. So as you can see, the last 2 sales are down from the 2 previous sales. If you go out and you blow that out to 365 days, you can see how up and down this card has been in the last year. But the 1-year average is $92. The 30-day average is $106. So whether you get it at the most recent at $70 or you pay closer to the average, around $100, even if you had to pay $120 if it's a really nice one, a PSA 7 comes back at $150. So you're gonna, if you pay $100, which is the average, and you get it graded, you're turning a profit at a PSA 7. That's why I like this play. You don't have to get the 10 to be profitable. You don't have to get the 9 to be profitable. A 7 either breaks you even or turns you a profit. The PSA 8, $295. So you're looking at almost doubling your money on an 8. And a 9, $625. And then the 10, which is kind of elusive, it's only a 10% gem rate. But a 10's $3,750. So if you're lucky enough to be one of those 10%, you're talking about a $3,750 card. So these are cards that, again, you can turn that profit without having to get those real high grades. Go West. Welcome in. Juju's going to be one of the greatest, but if you have to be patient. Yeah, she's probably not going to play this season, but I agree with you. I'm stocking up on Juju cards when I see deals on them. So thanks for the comments. And I'm right there with you on Juju. I think Juju's going to be amazing. All right, next card up. We're going to take a look at the one football card that I'm going to recommend, and that is a 2024 Garrett Nussmeier. He had a real bad loss. His cards have been coming down since they had the loss. As you can see here in the 30 days, there've been 3 sales on the card. This one is a refractor number 299. The base is also a play if you wanted to get the base. The base is down to $95 for a raw. But anyways, his cards are coming down a little bit right now. It's the midseason lull. The LSU is not performing the way they were supposed to.
I think they're still top 5.
They are,
but they've got
lost,
you know.
He lost the game, and that was all it needed to take the edge off. If he'd have been undefeated, this card would be way up, but it's not. So it's come down a little bit. So that is one of the plays that you can make. A PSA 9 sells for $146. So it's about a break even on a PSA 9, and a PSA 10 is $233. So that's like I said, I don't like making plays where you can only double your money, and that's essentially what a 10 will get you. However, if you're making this play, you're not making this play to flip it immediately. You're making this play to hold it for the draft. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a top 5 player in the draft, and he's going to get a lot of, no matter how his season goes, he's going to get a lot of hype. Him, Cade Klubnik are going to be 2 guys that get a lot of hype out going into the draft. So this is a play that I would make, and then I would hold that card until
he becomes another legendary LSU quarterback that takes over NFL team.
Yeah, yes.
I hate LSU, but it's the truth. I mean, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, that goes on and on. You know, he's not going to be Jamarcus Russell, you know, but but he's probably going to be damn good.
All right, back to a soccer play. 2006. So just like the Ronaldo 2006 World Cup, this is the 2006 Lionel Messi number 47 World Cup card. Just like the Ronaldo card, this card has PSA 7 upside, which is why I picked it. You can see it sold 7 times in the last 30 days. If you look at the 365-day chart on this card, you can see it has spiked way up as all of the goats are doing, and now the last sale has fallen back down. So the 1-year average is $175. The 30-day average is $270. However, when you take a look at this play, PSA 7, most recent sale, $375. So even if you got to pay you got to pay up to that, $300, $320 range. You're going to get 375 on a PSA 7, so it doesn't even need to be near mint or better. And you're gonna turn a profit or break even. Then you've got a PSA 8 selling for $500, a PSA 9 for $1,299, and then the 10, which is again only an 8% gem rate, $8,700. We're not delusional enough to think that we're going to buy one off of eBay and get a 10, but I think 7, 8s, and 9s are very achievable, and you're talking some very good rate of return if you can get an 8 or a 9 on that card. All right. What's that? All right, let's go to the next one. Next card up is going to be a 2006 World Cup. It's not Ronaldo and it's not Messi. It's Ronaldinho. He was a popular player. I don't think he plays anymore. If he does, he's got to be towards the end of his career. But do you know if he's still playing?
I don't think he is.
Yeah. But all right, just like the other cards, this is a 2006. So the good news is you've got upside again at PSA 7. So most recent sale, $40. 3 sales in the last 30 days. So about 1 every 10 days. The 30-day average is $30, which is down. The 1-year average, when you look at that, is $24. So, $25 to $40 for this card in raw condition. A PSA 7 sells for $60. A PSA 8 sells for $70. A PSA 9 sells for $135, and a PSA 10 is $400. And the PSA 10s are actually 17%. So this gem's a little bit higher than some of the other cards that the Ronaldo and the Messi out of the same set. So there's 3 cards there that you can go after from 2006 World Cup cards that will be profitable. Now this card, if you guys watch my Instagram, you saw that I made this play the other night. However, if you followed me, you also know that I paid way more than this because I found one that I thought was exceptionally clean. This is the 2006 World Cup sticker card for Messi, card 185. It's telling you that the most recent sale is $44 and that the 30-day average is $56. This is one of those cases where I'm going to call baloney on this. I don't know where the sales are being recorded of this, but all of the decent cards, if you want a nice copy of this, you're going to have to pay close to $100 for it. That's what I did. I paid $105 with taxes and shipping. So I think this is a little bit misleading with these numbers, but I wanted to show you because it's what's in Market Movers. The ones that are raw that are selling for these prices are not listed as near mint or better. They're listed in the excellent category, and I would stay away from those. But anyways, just wanted to show you what this looked like on a chart. So when you look at that Messi sticker, so 44 is what it's saying is the most recent sale. Like I said, I paid 105. A PSA 7 is 106. So I'm going to be out my grading fees if I get a 7. If I do get an 8, it's 150. And if I get a 9, it's $333. I'm not going to talk about the 10s because those are pretty much non-existent. And I don't want to mislead anybody, but if I can triple my money here from a $100 investment to $300 investment, I'm going for it, especially with Messi, because his stuff seems to just be going higher and higher and higher right now.
And he signed a 3-year contract that he's planning on playing in Miami till the end of 28, and then that should be it.
All right, here is another play. This is the one that we mentioned earlier that I teased was coming. This is the Mega Cracks Lamine Yamal. It's the La Liga EA Sports card number 108 BIS. This card jumps all around. You mentioned what you got for an 8.5. The raw card here is fluctuating anywhere from $400 to $600. So this is not a play for everybody. Obviously, it's a lot more expensive play, but I put it down because there is a lot of upside to this card, even in these price ranges. So the last 30 days, it ranges from 400 to 600. The average is 419. Look at this chart at 365 days. If you'd have looked at this card at the beginning of the year, this card in raw condition at the beginning of the year was selling for $16, $10, $15. This was under a $20 card up until the end of March. And then in April, it jumped to a $40 card. By May, it jumped up to a $100 card. In June, it jumped up as high as the high sale this summer was $620. There was a sale just the other day again at $600, $605. So this card is jumping all around. I would recommend finding them on an eBay auction. If you can, as you can see, there's a sale just as recently as 9/20, so just a couple of days ago, that was $204. Now, what this doesn't say is it doesn't say if it was listed as excellent or near mint or better. I would recommend going into eBay, searching for raw, and then clicking on the near mint or better to try and get the best of the raw cards that are available, if that makes sense. In a PSA 9, this card in a PSA 9 is $1,338. In a PSA 8, it's $800. In a PSA 7, it's $550. In a PSA 6, it's $450. And then in a PSA 10, as we mentioned earlier, it's $9,500. So, I mean, if you can buy one of these cards that you think is near mint or better, according to the listing on eBay, and you can get it in that $300 to $350 range, you're making money on a 6. So it doesn't have to grade all that great. You can pick up $100 on a PSA 6. So you just have to get one that doesn't have white corners, that looks centered, that's not creased, and you should get a 6 or better. 6 to 8 is the most common grades on it. 8 is actually the most common grade on this card in terms of gem rate. 40% end up getting a PSA 8. Well, if you can spend $350 and on a PSA 8 you're going to net $800, double your money on a PSA 8. That's why I put this card down. It does fluctuate. It is very grade sensitive. It is hard to grade, but if you can buy this card in the $300 to $350 range and you get a 6 or higher, you're making money. So that is why that card is on this list. But I wish I could go back in time and buy about 4,000 of these cards at $20 a piece. I mean, it's hard. 7 months ago, this was a $15 card.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And typically when cards skyrocket like this, we don't recommend going and buying the cards because obviously the bottom could fall out of them. But with the World Cup coming up next year, I don't see this card dropping back down to nothing. So it is a little bit of a risky play, spending that kind of money and waiting 3 months for PSA to get you your card back. I'm going to pay for the higher service on the ones I get and get them back within 20 days. So if the market does start to adjust, you can always list them. Otherwise, my play is to hang on to this card probably until May or June is when I'll probably list this card to try and get rid of it. All right, let's take a look at another card here. Next card up, another soccer card. Jamal Musiala. This is an Obsidian Black Color Blast. This is an SSP, but 49 of these have sold in the last year. So when you look at that 1 year chart and 49 of them, I mean, that's what, 4 per month, 1 per week roughly. So even though it's an SSP, the card does sell often enough that you can find it. Most recent sale was $106. The 1 year average is $160. When you take a look at the numbers on this card, a PSA 9 is $162. So I would want to target this card around that $100 mark so that a PSA 9 turns me a small profit. PSA 8 is $90. So if you do get an 8, you are going to lose a little bit of money on this. But a PSA 10, I had to look at this. I had to look at this several times because I was like, this can't be right. But a PSA 10 is $1,600. So incredible 10xing of your money. And it has a 39% gem rate. However, 19 out of 49. So only 49 of these cards have ever been sent to PSA. And ironically, 49 is the one. How many of these cards have sold in the last year? So are all 49 that got sold at PSA graded? I don't know. But I thought it was an interesting card to go look at. All right, I believe I've got one more soccer card coming here. No, we're going to switch to basketball. I might have, I'm not sure where I do have another Lamal unless I deleted it. But if I did, I'll come back to it. All right, so now for basketball, for all of you getting bored listening to me talk about soccer cards because soccer is not your thing. Anthony Edwards, I think he is one of the safest plays that you can make going into this year. I think he's going to, when he makes that leap and he makes it to the NBA Finals, his cards are going to go absolutely bonkers. The Prism 258 is the card that you want to go after. I don't like the base Prism play. There's no money to be made in that. But I didn't want to bore you guys with a whole bunch of Anthony Edwards plays. But there are 9 different colors of this variation that work very well on this play. I picked the red, white, and blue to share with you guys for a couple of reasons. It seems to be the most frequently transacted card of this in Raw. So when you can find this card often in Raw, it gives you a better opportunity and more opportunities to find a good, clean copy to submit for grading. It has the lowest rate of return of the 9 that I found. So the highest rate of return, spoiler, is the Purple Wave, if you can find the Purple Wave. However, the Purple Wave only has 19% gem rate, whereas the red, white, and blue has a 30% gem rate. So let's stick to the red, white, and blue for right now. The most recent sale, $39.52. There have been 14 of them in the last 30 days, so about one every other day, which is pretty, that's a lot for Anthony Edwards rookie cards. The 30-day average is $41, so it's pretty consistent, as you can see on that chart. A PSA 9 is $65, so if you can buy it for $40, get it graded, you're breaking even on a PSA 9, which is kind of the floor of which for what I look for. But the upside is a PSA 10 is $224. So you can literally 4x your money on a $40 investment. You can go from $40 to $224 if you can get that 10. And like I said, it's a 30% gem rate. So this is the play I'm going to recommend for Anthony Edwards. But you've also got the ice, the red ice, the silver, the purple wave, the orange ice, the blue wave, and the green that all do work on this formula if you want to try some of the other variations. All right, take a look at the next one. Next card up is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I think Shea's going to be back in the limelight again. They're going to be one of the favored teams. I don't know as though he's going to win back-to-back MVPs. That's probably highly unlikely. However, he will be the best player on his team. He will get a lot of media coverage again. And his cards have fallen quite drastically when you look at the 180-day range from the end of the playoffs till now. His cards have really come back, which is why it's giving you an opportunity to go get some more Shea before the season starts. So this red, white, and blue, again, I picked it because it transacts a little bit more than some of his other cards, and it's got a little bit higher gem rate. Again, a 30% gem rate, which is pretty good. 7 sales in the last 30 days. The most recent sale was $50. The 30-day average is $72. When you go out and you take a look at this card. It's down 48% in the last 180 days. So this card really has a lot of upside opportunities as the season gets going again. A PSA 9 is currently $80, and a PSA 10 with a 30% gem rate is $270. So again, it fits the criteria of the risk is worth the reward when you can take a card at $50 and turn it into $270. All right, next card we're going to take a look at will be another soccer card. I teased back at the beginning of the show that there would be a Pedri spotting on this show. This is the 2020 Mega Cracks La Liga Pedri rookie card. This card can be had right now for $8. There's 29 sales in the last 30 days, so almost one a day. In the last 180 days, 29. I looked at the chart wrong. So it's about 3 per month, roughly. Right? 30 divided by 6. No, there's about 5 per month. The 180-day average is $7. So other than this one spike up to $20, it's pretty consistently between $5 and $10 that you can buy this card. A PSA 9 is currently $40. So you're going to break even or maybe lose your fees, the eBay fees on a PSA 9. But a PSA 10 is $600. It's only got a 13% gem rate. So it's a little bit harder. But again, there haven't been a ton of those sent in. So it's not a super high graded card. So that might be, a little bit low. But a chance to take $8 or a $10 card and turn it into $600 with a 9 washing you out. To me, I'm willing to take that chance and swing for the fences. That's a home run shot when you can have $35 or $40 invested in a card fully graded, and you've got a chance at a $600 rate of return, and you're going to get it at a little better than 1 out of 10. That's a home run ball. It's not for everybody. It is a little bit more risky, but certainly worth the risk if you want to try. Back to another soccer card. This soccer card is Thierry Henry. This is back to the 2006 World Cup cards. This is only a $12 card. In the last 30 days, 2 of them have sold. In the last year, 9 of them have sold, so about 1 per month. But the 1-year average is $10. So 10, 12, $15 is all you got to pay to take a chance at one of these cards. $90 is a PSA 9. So buy a card for $10, get it graded, you got $35 in it. If it gets a 9, you triple your money for $90. And a PSA 10 is $169. So not the super most popular name, but he's popular in England. He's kind of an English star, but he is a player well known enough that his cards are liquid enough that you can still make that play and not spend a ton of money on going after a nice rate of return. Another soccer card here is a legend, but it's not a very old card. It's a 2023 Obsidian White Knight. This is another SSP from Obsidian. Diego Maradona, all-time great in the soccer community. This card sells for $77.88. It's the last sale. 30-day average is $82, so right around $80. When you look at the 1-year average, the 1-year average is $122. But really, when you look at the last 6 months, it's about a $90 card. So it's up about anywhere from $75 to $90 is what I think you can expect to pay for this card. A PSA 9 is $130, so you're going to break even on a 9, and a PSA 10 is $222. Somebody different that you can go chase. That's why I put in the Henry card. That's why I put in the Musiala card. It's not everybody has to go chase Mbappe or Ronaldo or Messi or Haaland. There are other soccer players that you can chase and be profitable. All right. We're going to go back to some basketball here. Now, Luka Doncic. I am high on Luka, super high on Luka, an ant going into this year, putting a lot of money into Luka and ant this year for this basketball season. Luka, with what he did over in Europe, he looks trim, he looks fit, he looks focused. You are going to see a whole different Luka this year, I think, to start. If he can stay healthy, I think Luka gets his first MVP this year. There's a hot take. And his cards are gonna do very, very well this year, I think. 2 cards that we can talk about. The one I'm going to show you here is his Optic Hollow, but they're both card 177. The other card that does work very well in this play is the Optic Shock. However, the Shock only has a 9% gem rate, which is why I did not choose to show this to you. I'm showing you the Hollow instead. So when you take a look at this, the Hollow's kind of hard to come by. There's only one sale in the last 30 days. It was for $210. When you look at 1 year, there's 35, so there's about 3 per month. $201 is the 30-day average or the 1-year average. So it's pretty consistently, it's been over the course of the last year as low as 160-ish, as high as 240-ish. Around 2 to 220 is where I would target this card if you want to be profitable and find a nice copy. PSA 9 is $275. So again, break even to make a little bit on a 9. $825 is a PSA 10, and the Hollow has a 33% gem rate. So whereas the Shock only has a 9% gem rate, the Hollow has a 33% gem rate, and you're talking the ability to 4x your money on a $200 card. So I'm really high on the Opta Luka Hollow. I think we got 3 or 4 more plays for you guys here. All right. Yeah, I got 4 plays left in the hopper for you. Nope, I take that back. We already covered Messi. We have 3 plays left in the hopper for you. I must have deleted the wrong one. So one of these I planned on talking about isn't going to get talked about because I deleted it by accident. All right. Here is the other Lamine Yamal card that I teased. Bo did not have this on the 6 that he showed you, but I found that this, if you want to go for an inexpensive play on Lamal, this is the play to go with, just based on your rate of return on investment and the gem rate. So this is the 23 Don Russ. It's the his club uniform, and it's the cubic parallel. Last sale, $20.50. 3 sales in the last 30 days, so about one every 10 days. The 30-day average is $16, so it's up a little bit from the 30-day average when you go out to 1 year. Pretty consistent. It had a nice little spike up in July, and now it's kind of back to normal. The 1 year average is $21. So I would target this card in that $20-ish range, give or take a little bit based on what you can find. But a PSA 9 is $50. So if you can find it for 20 or $25, get it graded. A 9, you're going to break even on a 9, which is what I look for. And a 10 has $236. So you can take a $45 investment with a 20% gem rate, 1 out of 5 at $236. So what I like to do with these low dollar investments, when it's a 20% gem rate, I like to buy 5 or 10 of them at $20 a piece. You're going to have a $200 to $400 initial investment. You're going to have another, $400 grading investment. So you're going to have about, if you can find 20 of them, or 10 of them, if you can find even 10 of them, you can do 20, because then you got a whole bulk of Lamal. You're going to have $800 invested roughly with grading. And if it's a 20% gem rate, you should get 4 out of the 20. That'll come up at a 10. It's $236 a piece. So you're talking, you're going to net, you're going to get a little over $900 on those 4 cards. So after fees, you'll probably net 710s, right around 710, 725. Essentially, your whole entire investment is paid for with the 4 10s. And now you got all those 9s at $50 a piece that are money in the bank. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. And all of a sudden you got a $600, $500, $600, $700 return on your initial $700 or $800 investment. You're going to double your money if you can get that 20% gem rate. That's what I like to do it. That's why I do it in bulk. That's what you guys have kind of started following me. My plays were always 10 to 20 card plays, showing you how much money you could make. This is a card that if you don't want to go after the mega cracks because it's too expensive, go buy 20 of these for the same price as 1 mega cracks, and you can get the same type of investment doing that way. All right. What do I got left here for you guys? Something good, I hope. Well, that was a blank one. So this must be the last one here. Then I'll get to figure out which one I deleted. All right, the last one is Victor Wembanyama. So I deleted the Brunson play, so I'll talk about that too. Victor Wembanyama did not want to go with talking basketball without giving you a Victor play. Again, a lot of his Prism 136 cards, whether they're base, silver, red, white, blue, green, Victor is a solid play going into this year. Most of his stuff is down. This is the Blue Wave. 2 sales in the last 30 days. Most recent was 223. 30-day average is 273. Go out to the 1 year. And the 1 year you can see is $349, because you can see where this card was a year ago going into the basketball season. This was a $500-$600 card consistently in raw condition. Now you can buy it in the low 200s. A PSA 9 still sells for $470. So you can double your money. You can essentially double your money on a PSA 9. A PSA 8 sells for $310. So on a PSA 8, if you go spend $225, get it graded, you can still break even or turn a small profit on a PSA 8. So that's why I like this play best of Wembanyama, because you don't need a 9 or a 10 to make money. On an 8, you're going to show a small profit. On a 9, you're going to double your money. And on a 10, I didn't mention the 10. The 10's $900. So you're going to 4x your money on a 10. The card that I did, I accidentally deleted when I thought I'd got rid of the Messi. The other play was a 2018 Optic Hyper Pink Jalen Brunson card. That card most recently raw was $15. The 30-day average is $16. So, 15 to $20 range. The PSA 9 was $49. So break even on a 9. PSA 10 is $122, and it has a 40% gem rate. The Victor Wembanyama has a 22% gem rate. So there are some plays for you guys to go chase down, spend some money on. Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, and Victor Wembanyama are 3 players that I believe are going to do very, very well going into this season. I also really like Joel Embiid right now because his cards are down so much from being injured. I like Giannis because everybody's been writing the Bucks off. Giannis stuff has gotten almost free from what it was a year or two ago. Giannis base prisms a year ago were $700. They're down to like $350. Really like Giannis stuff, Joel Embiid stuff, Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic. Those are your safe plays going into the year for basketball. If you were interested in some football plays, we can do that on another show. But depending upon how Carson Wentz continues to do with the Vikings, JJ McCarthy stuff is falling like a rock. In-season injury dips are often the best time to buy them. If you're a believer in JJ McCarthy, might be a nice one. I would target his downtown because it's down to $200 raw. That's pretty cheap for a top-rated quarterback. If you believe in him, if you're looking at hockey, Austin Matthews, Young Guns, that's a card I would target for hockey players. Mahomes, the rookies, Donruss, the rookies. That's a card you could target for football. Justin Jefferson's Optic Hollow, that card is down quite a bit. I like that play. And anything Peyton Manning, his stuff. When I look at all of the GOATs, everything is going higher and higher and higher right now for GOATs. Why are Peyton Manning cards and Drew Brees cards not taking off? All of the other GOATs are taking off. So if I'm right, football's just the slowest to react to these GOAT cards taking off. Even Tom Brady cards are up, but they're not up like all of the other sports. I'm predicting that in the next year, you're going to see football greats, Dan Marino, John Elway, Brett Favre, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. You're going to see those cards really have a nice spike. A Jerry Rice. Barry Sanders. Sanders is up quite a bit already. He's one of the football players that he's like up 50% right now. But yeah, these all-time greats. Emmitt Smith is cheap. Emmitt Smith is going to have a surge here pretty soon. So if you're looking for cards that you can target and you're willing to have a little bit longer wait time, Go target some of the greats for football because they have not taken off yet, and I believe that they're going to. So that's all I have. You got anything else, Bo?
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I want to talk some strategy. I'm going to try to screen share this picture.
Well, he's doing that, guys. Bo has created a Discord for anybody that's following us. It's going to be free, unlike a lot of the Discords that you have to pay money for. This is a free Discord. We're gonna, if you want an invitation, reach out to us. Otherwise, we're gonna try and shoot it off to a lot of our friends on Instagram and Facebook, and get people in there and using it. I am a Discord rookie. I've been in a couple of Discords. I have not utilized them very well. I'm not very familiar with them, but I'm going to do my best. I do have it loaded now on my phone and my desktop. I'll have to get it on my computer at work. And hopefully we can have a lot of great discussions and help share strategies. And if you like the shows every 2 weeks, we're going to continue doing that, but you won't have to wait 2 weeks. You'll have an open invitation to reach out to us or anybody else in this community on the Discord. So we put it in the link. The Discord is in the link on YouTube in the chat. It's in the link on Instagram in the chat. And look for us to be sending it out. Look for an email. We're going to be emailing many of you as well, reaching out, trying to add you to the Discord.
I put a channel in there for suggestions because I just kind of came up with everything in Discord haphazardly. I did reorganize it yesterday and today, but if you have any suggestions or if there's something that you're missing, I wasn't a member of a different Discord not too long ago, and I was like, we need to have something with show meetups or something, and then I was kind of ignored until after the show was over. But if there's something you're looking for, I'll keep an eye on that, and I'm open to any suggestions and keeping this free and fun and have a good time. I even put a thing in there about setting up some fantasy basketball leagues, maybe one free one and one $10 one or something where people can win a little bit of money. We'll see how interested you are in that. Do you? I put a screen share in from my Photoshop, but is there anything that you're okay? There we go. Cool. Okay, so I've had this card for over a year. It's at the YouTube. It's at the PSA vault right now. Evidently, he got called up a day or two ago. I heard Jeff Wilson talking about that last night when I was going to sleep. He had him as the top 5 hottest cards of the week.
Yes.
So, I feel like these September call-ups are a bit more tricky when you're trying to move the card. Do I go ahead and run? It's weird because when I look at the PSA app on this card, it's got a card vault value of it was like $700 card. It's not opening up for me. And then it said PSA value was $1,200. I saw one sold like a week ago for like $700 something dollars. They gave me a $633 offer on it, which I don't think I'm going to take that. So I'm like, should I try to sell it now, like an auction or something, or do I hold it till April?
March. I would try and sell it now. His stuff is up a lot, and that you don't know how he's going to do in the big leagues. So I would say that you've got probably a 48-hour to 72-hour window to sell towards the top right now. If you're a gambler and you want to hold it for the next week, and then sell it, his stuff probably will still be pretty hot in the spring. Matter of fact, it might even be higher in spring because he's only going to get a couple of at-bats here with 5 games remaining in the season.
That's what I was thinking.
But if he pulls a holiday and goes 0 for 41 in his last 5 games, his cards are going to cool off a lot, and then it's going to depend on how he does in spring training. But if he can somehow bat 250 to 350, maybe hit a home run, something of that nature in this last week of the season, his stuff will get only hotter and hotter as the. So what I would do is I would list it now with a buy it now that I'm for what I'm hoping to get for the card. I wouldn't sell it at auction. I would list it as a buy it now. If somebody pays my price, great. If not, I'll hold it until March.
What kind of price would you be thinking? Just out of curiosity.
I'd probably put it out there at this point at $1,000 or best offer.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Okay. Nice. Appreciate it, man.
You bet. All right. So if you want to join the Discord, if any of you that are watching want to be a administrator on the Discord, because that's just your jam, you're not into doing live shows with Bo and I every other week, but Discord is your jam and you really enjoy it, reach out to us. I don't think there's a limit as to what we can have for administrators on the Discord. The Discord is meant just as a social platform for us to be able to share ideas, secrets, tips, communicate, get to be better friends, share our buys, our sells, anything that you can think of. That's what the Discord is for. I'd love to have everybody, all of you watching, join and get this Discord up and going and get it bigger and better than anything else out there. Share it with any of your friends because, again, it's a free Discord, so you don't have to pay to get in.
You don't have to have your credit card on automatic renew.
You don't? Yes. Yeah. For those that know, they know what Bo's talking about. All right. Well, that does it for this show. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And as always, if you got anything, reach out. Feel free to reach out. Hope you all can make some of the plays that I suggested, make some money. And we'll see you in the Discord. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.